Hello, welcome to Elevate Your Wellbeing Contagious Care, everyone. Our 51st session. Hard to believe, but as we move into this year of 2021, it's great to be continuing on. And please, I want to say thank you to everyone who has actually joined our group. We have 460 something members and from 13 different countries all over the world, and it's just so wonderful to have you here in all different cultures and all different states of Australia. And yeah, it's really lovely to be a wonderful collective together, a terrific tribe. So please come on in. If you're here, let us know just by pressing the like or the love button to let me know you're here, who I'm speaking with today, and welcome to all our new members too. It's been great to see the encouragement from old members welcoming new members as they come into this group, just by letting them know when I do welcome our new members on our team, to just say hi and greet them and welcoming them. And I also want to thank you for engaging with our guest speakers. It's really hard for many guest speakers who have not done this before. And 9 months ago, I hadn't done it before. So it's a learning curve for many of us, and it's really warms our hearts, mine and the other guest speakers, to have you engaging with us. So hi Berna, welcome, come on in. And Margaret, lovely to see you here. And Berna, an old friend of mine from 42 years ago, I think, in the States when I was an exchange student with you. Lovely to see you here from America. So we're going to be speaking today, we're going to be chatting today about living our passion. What is our passion? Discover, how can we discover what our purpose is? And I don't know about you, but as we move into 2021, our second month of this year, what's it been like for you? Have you set any goals for 2021? Just put yes or no in the chat box, in the comments section. Have you set goals for this year? And if so, are you on track with them? To live our passion, I've chosen the picture above. A girl, let's say it's a girl. It's not close enough for me to be able to see. But let's just say it's a girl on her windsurfer, just really living out her passion. Okay. We may not have such a high adrenaline passion as that, and that's absolutely okay. Passions come in all different forms, shapes and sizes, but it's really important to know what our passion is, because it could be a calm, peaceful passion. It could be what is meaningful to you within your work, how you're contributing in a voluntary way. It could be passion of your family. I've got a picture of our 3 kids in the background here. Another passion of mine is candles. I've got that in the background as well. Just being able to focus and meditate on that light that flickers, and that calms my soul and helps me resonate with the inner world of me when I have a candle on. And it also helps me celebrate and honor the people around me. John and I always have a candle on at night. And our children at the dinner table years ago used to think, oh, Mum, why do you light a candle? Well, to celebrate you guys, just in being you, in being able to be with you. So we have little passions that we make as our ritual every day, and that's what we're going to look at today. So Rhonda and Annie, welcome to you too. It's lovely having aspects of you, lovely women, from my past where I used to live in Tumut. So welcome aboard. So what is your purpose? Have you set goals? Just put yes or no in the comments section. Yes or no. Have you set goals for 2021? Are you on track with them? Yes or no. February can be a time when we lose a bit of that impetus from the 1st of January, when we might be turning the corner. Well, we are turning the corner of a new year, and it was a good corner to turn into, to say goodbye to 2020 and hello, hopefully, to a new year. It's still tough in different ways for different people. Very, very tough in other countries. We are so fortunate here in Australia. But are you, having turned the corner into 2021, are you finding yourself a bit stuck with some of the goals or a goal you might have set for yourself at the beginning, when you were all ready to reset, when you had a relaxing January, when it was just lovely to be able to relax? Notice these words of relax, replenish, restore, revive, and relive, coming in to a new year and resetting. Annie's saying, yes, you have set some goals and you are on track with them. Margaret's saying, yes, just living day by day, maintaining my aging body and communicating with my loved ones. Beautiful, Margaret. I love that passion of yours. And maintaining an aging body is so important. And if we had known that in our younger days to maintain healthy lifestyle early days, we would be a lot better off. Christine's saying, starting to get energy back now, thinking of more exercise. Fantastic. So I know you've gone through a very tough time, Christine. So if you do find yourself stuck, what might be making you stuck? Today we're going to look at finding the missing piece of your world that enables you to align your passion with your life. So this session will hopefully give you clarity, enabling you to do what lights you up. So let's look at what does light you up. Just put in the chat box. Instantly, the first thing that comes to your mind, what lights you up? What are you passionate about? How can you truly live and breathe that more? Okay, so just put in the chat box first. What lights your life up? What makes you smile? What do you feel passionate about? And how can you breathe that more into your life? In the Elevate Your Wellbeing workshop that I run, and I'm just running 2 this year, you'll find out why I'm limiting things a bit later, but I guide people through an exercise to immediately start living their life by design, like being the architect of your life as much as you can be, rather than living by default, letting everything just come in and bombard you and take over your life and overwhelm you. So to choose to live your life by design rather than by default. And what that really means is being intentional. So I teach how to be intentional with our actions, our words, and our thoughts. Actually, I should say that the other way around, because our thoughts dictate our words, and our words and our thoughts dictate our actions. What we end up communicating about will have huge influence on our actions. So what do we want to be intentional about with our thoughts in our internal world, our words, and our actions? And that's a huge thing, and it takes an hour to do this exercise that I run in the workshop, that actually within that time people go have this aha moment and think, whoa, I've discovered how I want to live, how I want to choose my goals and set my life on course. But for now, because that takes so long, let's do just 3 simple steps. Okay? Tony Robbins said, he's a personal development guru and has been for about 40 years. He says, and I agree with him, that every moment we actually are making 3 decisions unconsciously. And these 3 decisions are, in each moment, what am I focusing on? What does this mean? We ask that unconsciously. What does it mean? We interpret something. We unconsciously perceive incidents as being a certain way. So what does this mean? And the third thing, what am I going to do? In those split seconds, what am I focusing on? What does this mean? What perspective am I going to take? And what am I going to do? So let's look at the first point to start with. I'll just read out the comments first. Christine's saying that your passion, what lights you up, is enjoying your family. And Rhonda the same, connecting with long distance family. And that's choosing to be very intentional, because it's harder to do that. Even though we've got so many more resources now than decades ago, it's still being intentional about that. Thanks, Rhonda and Christine. So what are you focusing on? Do you focus on what you can control, or do you focus on what you can't control? You see, we can't control many of the external circumstances, but we can take control of our inside world, what is within us. Focus on what I can do rather than what I can't. This is what my mum said. And that was her mantra after a severe stroke that she had. She had 2 strokes, and 6 years prior to her death, where she had the second one, she had this massive one in Spain. And I flew over to be by her bedside every alternate night, slept by her bed for 7 weeks in the hospital. And my sister flew over from the States and was by her bedside every other night. And she was over there visiting my brother in Spain. And so when she had this stroke, she couldn't talk or walk for almost a year. And she persisted with this rehab. After 7 weeks of being in hospital over there, she was miraculously able to be air ambulanced home and was in a hospital in Sydney for 7 weeks, then rehab for another 6 weeks, then high-level nursing home for 6 months, and then a low-level nursing home for a few months, and finally got back to being in her retirement village. And her mantra, by the end of the year, she could speak again and walk again. She was a living, walking, talking miracle. So many people used to call her. And her mantra, I asked her, how have you got this far, Mum? And she said on this occasion, Heather, I just focus on what I can do and accept what I can't. And you know, I've been living that life these last 8 months or so, where I have had chronic fatigue and breathlessness just with the slightest of exertion. And although everything's been ruled out with my organs not being problematic, with my lungs and heart and everything else, I have got chronic fatigue syndrome left over after it's a post-viral syndrome. And so what I have had to learn to do is cut out 3/4 of my life in order to sleep the 11 hours that I sleep each night, and having a nap in the afternoon, sometimes 2 hours. And that's what I have to do at the moment to survive. And I make sure I get my replenishment times in, the things that light me up, to be able to restore myself, whether it's a bit of exercise, being out in nature, not the exercise that I used to do and love, but just modifying everything. And I've learnt to, it's been hard, but I've learnt to focus on what I can do and accept what I can't. And although it can be really discouraging, I'm determined not to sit in that discouragement. So I accept the fatigue and take good rest and allow God's peace to just flow over me like a beautiful waterfall that can flow over into my inner world. And that way, I find that I'm doing all I can to live with His spirit of peace within me and gratitude and grace, even though I have a shorter tolerance level, being so fatigued. But I'm not sitting with that discouragement that can quickly overwhelm me. So in summary, what do you focus on? Do you focus on your external circumstances, like the illness that you might have, like the relationship breakdown that you might be experiencing, like not being able to be close with your loved ones right now, the sadness of that? Do you focus on those external circumstances that you can't control, which can be pretty shitty at times? Or do you focus on your internal world that you do have control over? So I'm just going to say hi to Tony also, dear friend from old days in Chimit, and Christine saying you are so lucky to have that persistence gene in your family. It's not what you do now, but what you do next that counts when having a problem or a slip up. I love that, Christine. Yeah, I am fortunate to have that persistence gene, and it's persistence, it's what it is. I know, I guess it is partly a gene, yes, from my mum. But you know, we have to choose it as well, because there's so many circumstances that I have had in life where it would be so easy not to choose that, and to choose a spirit of discouragement, to just say, you know, I'm over it, I've had it. And if we let that overwhelm feeling, which comes at times, you know, we have to ride that wave, but if we don't ride that wave, we get drowned by it. So it's choosing to do all we can to ride the wave rather than being drowned by it. And hi Cindy, it's good to see you, dear old school friend from long time ago, obviously. So that's the first one. What are you focusing on? What can you control and what can't you control? The second one is, what meaning do we put to events that occur in our lives? What meaning do I attribute to this? If I've been hurt, for example, what meaning to that incident do I ascribe to it? Can I discover another perspective in this? For example, if I've been hurt, do I soak in the disrespect or the person ignoring me or being annoyed or feeling bitter? Do I go down that pathway, or can I actually go down a pathway of asking, what can I learn from this? Should have I set a boundary here, a tighter boundary? Should have I had more grace? What could have I done differently in that situation? So what meaning do I put to this? Another way of looking at it is, can I choose a growth mindset? Like, how can I see this as a growing edge of me? Or am I going to have a fixed mindset and say, oh, that person irritated me, rather than looking at underneath what the cause might have been for them to be so difficult in that circumstance? So what mindset am I going to have? can I have a mindset that just says, oh, that's so-and-so being so-and-so, if we've got to live with that, or if they're a relative that comes by frequently? Or will I stay with the fixed mindset that just continues to be irritated, and then that irritation just swamps us and disempowers us? So if you're new to the group, I just want to say the forgiveness chapter that I've written in the book, Elevate Your Wellbeing, really helps you with this. There's reason, as you know, that I've shared in the other forgiveness topics that I've done in this video series. And just scroll down to some of those sessions if you're new to this and this is resonating with you. Or catch the replays on the mindset ones, the mindset topics and forgiveness topics, or buy the book that I've been privileged to co-author. You can just go onto my website, heathermcalpineconsulting.com, and buy that book. Half the proceeds go to Breast Cancer Network Australia, and it's just a great book that I was privileged to co-author. And one of the other authors, besides that chapter that I wrote on forgiveness, one of the other authors has written on knowing our why. Why do we do things? Understanding what the emotional meaning is for the goal that we have set. So asking, why do I want to do this? Why is this so important to me? And asking 15 times why that is, to get to the core reason of why you really, really want to do something. That will help you jump those obstacles to reach your goal. And she writes a whole chapter on that, on living your life by design. An excellent author that I was privileged to get to know and really enjoy now. So yeah, go onto the website if you want to buy that book. Now, getting back to these 3 points, remember the first one was, what are you focusing on? Do you focus on what you can control, or do you focus on what you can't control? Second one was, what meaning do I attribute to things? What perspective am I going to take here? Know why you really, really want to do something, or why you want to be a certain way in a relationship or in your inner being. And then the third point is, what am I going to do? In that split second of that unconscious thinking, we actually go through the question, what am I going to do? And we choose a course to take action or not. Okay? So what am I going to do? 80% of people are severely time poor. Okay? So finding time each week, we only have 24/7. We're all in the same boat here. We all only have 24/7. So 24 hours in a day. So we're all in the same boat. And if there's something that's really important to you that you really want to do, what is the obstacle that's getting in the way? Do you hear yourself saying, I just don't have time? If that question resonates with you, do you say, I just don't have time to do something that's really, really important to you? Just put yes or no in the chat box now. Hi, Nikki, and hi, Lyndall. Great to have you here with us as well, joining now. So do you say, nah, I just don't have time to do the stuff that's important? Do you find you do all the other little things without prioritizing the thing that's really significant to you? Just put yes or no in the chat box. I want to challenge you to ask yourself, what am I doing with my time that's not helpful? Stuff that might be okay, but it's getting in the way from you reaching your higher goal. What do you need to do less of in order to do more of, in order to achieve that goal in the end? In other words, what can you exchange? What can you trade off here? For example, how much time do you spend on Facebook or Instagram? Have you ever considered that? That although it's great catching up with friends, How much of your day do you want to do with that? You might find that trading Facebook time for good quality time with a friend or exercising with them is a much better use of your time. And do you have a way of finding more time, like outsourcing tasks? I've found that helpful by choosing to have a cleaner. We might not all be able to do that. I'm grateful for that opportunity. But just to choose, can I outsource any tasks that enable me to do the things that are really, really important to me? Another way you can do it is reframe time. Imagine your upcoming pleasure or leisure activity. There's a thing called imagine action. Imagine, visualize in order to take that action. So making it happen through visualization. Your mind is so much more powerful than you will ever know. So believe you can, and you're halfway there. That's a quote by Theodore Roosevelt. If you have belief in yourself, the other half of the equation is taking action. And if you don't at first succeed, what do? Put in the chat box if you don't at first succeed. Christine's saying, rather than procrastinate about something, I write a list of pros and cons about doing the task or the goal, seeing what is the best way to go. Fantastic. Really good strategy. So if you can use those strategies, that type of strategy, to take action, and if you don't succeed, what do? How did the light bulb get invented? Tony's saying, hide all evidence of ever trying. Love it. Try again like a spider in his web. Love that too, Christine. Okay, so keep on trying. We will find a way, and trying by using a different strategy. Okay, so persistence is the key here, right? I really like the quote by Jim Walker's. A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. So visualize your favorite river right now. Just want you to close your eyes and visualize your favorite river. What happens over time? Put in the chat box now. What happens over time to that riverbed because of the beautiful natural flow of the river? You see, it's the persistence of that water that carves out the way. And as Christine has commented, persistence is a great quality, because that will form our habits, our rituals that are good for us in order to reach our goals. If you find an obstacle on your way to your goal, just keep trying and choose a different strategy if the first one doesn't work. It takes a new course. The river takes a new course. Love it, Rhonda. I'm really enjoying this engagement. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to have your responses. It enables me to keep going. So, as I've mentioned, know your reason for why you want to take that course. Know your why. Why is this meaningful? Why is this so significant to me? And the last chapter of my book is all about that. Finding joy in pain is a good one too, what I just opened up to. But the last chapter by Deborah Adelin, Valuing Your Values, Knowing Your Why. So I'm going to finish with a last quote, and it's by an 8-year-old girl. She says, never let age pull you down. As long as we set our mind to it and put all our confidence and effort into it, believing in ourselves, putting our confidence and effort into it, you can do it. This gorgeous 8-year-old girl has now authored 4 children's books, and she has also done the pictures of it as well, the graphics. And she is on to her next one. And her quote is, "Never let age pull you down." So if this has been helpful, if this session has been helpful today, and you want to dive deeper, don't let it just stay here. Do something with your desire. Make it happen for you. If you've discovered what your mini goals are or what a big goal is, do something with that desire today. You might want to register for the Elevate Your Wellbeing Workshop, which is coming up in June. It's on the website. I've not done not doing any workshops in the first term of this year because I'm just lying low and taking lots of rest and replenishment and restorative things. But my next workshop on Elevate Your Wellbeing, you might want to dive deeper into some of these things, which is what we do on the workshop. And we aligning your goals and your values with your life. And that way you can truly live your life by design rather than default. So remember, life rewards action. Take that action today. Mark things down on your calendar that you want to do, whether it's a workshop that interests you, whether it's something that takes action with a friend, to write a note to them, to make that call, whatever it might be. Take action by sharing this. If this has been helpful to you today, press the share button, because just clicking that share button to a friend or group of friends, if you've been challenged or encouraged, you want friends to feel the same. And that's a way where you can contribute also. So I'm just going to look at what Tony said. I looked into a job that would have taken a lot of my time without having any financial benefit increase. So choose to look at other options. Yay. Choosing to look at other options that work for you. Thanks so much, Tony. So I'm going to wrap up now. Next session, which is in a fortnight's time, we have got a friend of mine, a neighbor from way back where we used to live before we moved to Minamara. And she is a yoga instructor, and she's my yoga instructor, and she's going to be speaking on replenishment through rest. Something that I've been doing heaps of lately. So I welcome you to join her in a fortnight's time. She's just a beautiful soul, and her name is Christine. So mark that in your calendar now if you want to take action on that. And until next time, be brave, be life-giving, and let your beautiful light shine.